Gonna go right into the intro. Here we go. Hey guys, my
It's
name's
nerve-wracking.
Ollie.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm
no,
sorry. I'm
it's okay.
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. My intro is super easy. So, hey guys, my name's Ollie, and today we have a guest.
What's up?
This is JMeyels. You probably see him around your recommendations, and if you're an Apex watcher, then you've probably seen him around YouTube for your news outlet. But yeah, you want to introduce yourselves, JMeyels?
So yeah, my name's JMeyels, as you probably heard. Uh, anyways, I do a little bit different than most YouTubers that do news. I try to incorporate a lot of personality, jokes, idiocracy, dad jokes, cringe, and basically just a goofball who also delivers the news at the same time while doing it. Mainly just trying to have fun and just trying to make people enjoy their day, I guess. But yeah, that's mostly it.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so my first question that I'm going to throw at you really quickly. What made you want to make videos, specifically YouTube videos, and how long have you been making videos?
Okay, so like I've had a few different startups. I think I don't nobody that's doing YouTube right now, I would be willing to bet that this is their first channel. Most of us have all had channels in the past that we tried stuff
Mhm.
when we were younger and thought the montages and all that stuff were gonna, whatever. I don't know. I did
No,
all
I
the
agree.
cringe montages, bro.
We
So
all did.
I've had a few I had a few channels, Gears of War stuff, Call of Duty stuff, and my motivation then was, I guess a lot of it is the same now. As I never saw myself settling for a 9 to 5 or just wanting to do the same job for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something bigger, better. I come from a small town where a lot of us don't believe it's possible to outgrow your city. And I love the country life. I love like the laid back life, not many people around, the everybody knows everybody vibe, I guess. But I still wanted to set my family up in a position long term eventually where I could do better for them and they could enjoy a little bit more and not be so tied down to their jobs. I didn't want to be tied down to a job. I wanted to have a family and I didn't want to miss out on a lot of, ball games or births or pregnancies or something where I had to go work, work, work all day just to make the money so that we could live. I didn't want to live that life. I wanted to live cheap, live simple, and work less. But I wanted to eventually make enough money to where I can help my family do the same thing. So my motivation was really to, I guess, freedom, just being financially free or doing something I enjoy. As I got older, I realized that it's a lot more, it is fun. I love the job. It is a lot more of a job than I thought it was. It's
Mhm.
definitely not as simple as just playing video games. It's so much more complicated that when I was younger, I used to hear people say that and I was like, yeah, they're just saying that so that they can, make themselves feel like it's still a job. No, it is a job. I'm up all the time trying to think of new thumbnail ideas, trying to figure out why my click-through rate is down or why it's high. How can I keep it high? What are people interested in? What other channels are doing great? There's so much research you got to do, a lot of studying. It's not as simple as just doing what you want, unless you can just have that pizzazz about yourself. So my motivation was really just to be financially free, to enjoy my life, to enjoy what I love to do, and just have fun with my life. So I'm not like always hating my job or something.
Wow, that was that was a phenomenal answer. I'm not gonna lie. Very well said.
All
Okay,
these
well,
are off the fly, by the way, too. And I didn't hear these questions before this started.
this is true. This is true. Second thing, what is something that nobody outside of the Apex community or your YouTube community knows about you? It could be literally anything, anything you want to share. It doesn't have to be personal. Sweat was talking about how
Okay.
he used to play by himself baseball in his basement when he was a young kid because he was by himself. It was a funny
Okay.
story.
That's interesting. Okay. I got a lot of stories I could share. That's interesting. A very good question. I was not expecting this one. Maybe I should have asked for it beforehand. I would say so. A lot of people don't know because I've gained a lot of weight. Not that I'm like over, I don't know. I might be overweight, but not that I'm overweight, but I have gained a lot of weight. I used to be an absolute toothpick when I was younger, before I got into out of high school, I guess. Before I got out of high school, started making YouTube videos and all that. I was very, very deep into competitive travel baseball. I
Mm.
traveled all over the place. My biggest accomplishment was 2013 winning a summer nationals championship. And so I was playing every single weekend. There was a tournament. I was practicing 4 times a week for one team, 2 times a week for another team. Most of the time I would have to miss another team's practice because I would be playing for travel ball, the school, recreation, and then I would prioritize my travel ball, and because that was my best team and the team that had the most accomplishments and for a long time had the most, what would you say, opportunity. I guess there was a lot more scouts involved where at the stage I was until I got into high school and things changed a little bit. But yeah, I was deep into competitive baseball before I started making Apex YouTube videos. I was all about Apex competitive, and it really came from a background of competitive baseball. I was always playing tournaments, always wanted to win, always wanted to be the best. And so my life before Apex, before, well, I was consumed with video games during my baseball years, but I would say mostly before Apex, my life was just strictly consumed of travel baseball. A lot of people don't know that because now I'm married, I got a baby on the way, and I put on some weight. So, but it's all good.
You look good, man. Don't worry about it. You got the baby weight. You got to be able to support the baby. You're the pillow.
Yeah, that's it.
That's actually really cool. I didn't know that. Baseball, especially American, like high school sports and stuff. I feel like there's a lot more, like, things you can do with it. Like, there's a lot of like people coming to like watch your games, scouts and stuff like that. Like, there's like it's televised stuff like that. Canada,
And
we
people
didn't have
don't
that,
know
but
too is like, oh, I didn't realize you were from Canada.
yeah,
Uh, People don't realize too is like now as the world continues to grow and change. I mean, if you have a passion for baseball and you get towards the end of like your chances of going to D1 college baseball or the minor leagues and then professionally, I mean, you could literally continue your passion. You don't always have to give it up. You can continue your passion by like making YouTube videos, making TikTok videos, and giving tips or stuff. Like there's so many opportunities now where you can continue your passion in a way that you didn't have 30 years ago, for sure. So we live in a great day and age to be around.
definitely. Like social media presences can just you could do literally anything and have
Huge,
an audience for
huge.
it. Kind of brings us into the next question because you were talking about how you used to play baseball a lot, but what do you do outside of YouTube now? Like outside of Apex, you're done for the day, go hang out with the wife. What do you do?
Good question. So currently, my wife is pregnant, so her and I usually just hang out. I usually just say, "Hey, you want to go ride to town?" We've kind of picked up some hobbies. So because she's pregnant, she's going to have to take a break from her job soon, and she's also self-employed. We built her a shop to work here from home, but it requires one-on-one talking with people and being present. And obviously, as the pregnancy gets further along, she's not going to be able to do it. So we actually bought an embroidery machine, and she's making like baby clothes and stuff, and I actually love it too. So we'll go and like get new designs and try to sell stuff online, like trying to start a little online business. So I'm pretty interested in that, but that's mostly her thing. I just kind of help her with it. Mostly for me, when I get done, I go straight outside and like I'll go work on the yard, build a fire. I currently have like I'm really interested in like real estate investment properties and stuff. So I'm trying to clean up my house really nice because in a couple or in a few months I plan to leave, rent this place out, and then go to a new place and do the exact same thing, renovate it a little bit, make it better, then leave, rent it out. I used to work at a landscaping place, or I worked for the Board of Education at a school doing landscaping. So I learned a lot, love a lot of the landscaping environment, and just to get out and go cut limbs, burn leaves, burn trash, or burn just natural vegetation limbs, and get rid of brush and debris that's on my fence and stuff. I don't know, I love it. I just play music, sit there and just relax and be with myself, play with my dogs. A lot, the older I get, it seems like I just like nature more. I like to just go out and ride. I would get in my car and just go ride around and just go look at stuff. It's such the most old man thing I could think of. I think I'm an older soul, honestly.
It's just therapeutic to be with
It is
nature.
therapeutic. It really is,
100%.
man. You just, you'll either turn nice music that you like that makes you happy up, or either put no music at all, roll the windows down, let the nice cool air hit you, go and look at nature, bro. I love it. And it's as stressful as YouTube could be sometimes. You gotta have it. You gotta have your downtime. So we'll just hop in the car and just do whatever we want to do. Like go see nature, go make t-shirts, go build a fire. I love it.
Well, that's
This is
awesome that you found some
the
things
dumbest
to do.
answer because
No,
nobody
that's
cares
not
about
dumb.
that, but I love it though.
That's not dumb, man. That's what you do. That's you got to be honest. The questions are all you. That kind of brings us into the next question. So, you got to have your downtime away from YouTube, away from Apex. Everyone has to get away from their job, whatever it is. What do you dislike about your community most? Or
Dislike
like
about
or
my
not
community.
dislike because that's kind of a strong word. How about what would you like them to stop most?
Hmm. Probably. Okay, this is going to be a complicated answer because I found myself on the other side of this as well, doing what they're doing. And I'm not saying it's always bad. Apex currently is in like a weird state right now. And it's like, well, before the trailer, I would say it was probably in the worst state it's ever been. It's not been good. The backlash has been terrible. The reviews have been terrible. And I totally get it. I agree with a lot of the reasons, and it makes 100% sense. I totally am behind it. I'm with it. I'm a pretty avid person to call Respawn out on stuff that is stupid, stuff that is bad. It's like, yo, what is this? This don't make no sense. But at the same time, there's also, you got, in every situation, there's got to be an opportunity for a recovery. Like there has to be, okay, that was bad, but this is good, and we can accept that this is good. And a lot of times, like, there'll be good news that comes out, and immediately the wave of people are coming to say, who cares about the good stuff? Because this and this and this and this and this. And I get it, man. I get it. But we can't have this negativity of always being down, always harping on the same stuff. Like, I get it, and but it's like, that's a different battle. We got to fight that battle separately. You got to still celebrate the small accomplishments. No, not everything is perfect. No, of course there's still issues, but I would say the only thing I would change, and I say this because I've done this myself too, to say that, okay, that trailer was good, but who cares, because all of this and this and this, and I got to stop. You know, you've got to celebrate the small accomplishments still. And I wish that we could put all the negativity aside of some problems and still say, hey, I don't like all this other stuff going on, but this does look good, and I am happy that this might be good news for the future. So I feel like it's hard to fight back for Apex because they've lost so much trust now, which is, given their fault. But it's also like, well, what happens if they do fix everything? You know, a lot of people are going to say not care. They're just done. Like, they're just going to say, well, who cares if you fix it all? It took you too long. Or I wish it would have been this way. And it's just like, eventually it's like, dude, come on, give it a break. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I also feel like EA as an overlying factor kind of has a lot more control over what's going on. Even though the game, I hear the $1 billion, like $1 billion game. I say it all the time, but it's like that $1 billion isn't going to Respawn. It's going to EA first and then being funneled into Respawn like accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of business decisions, but whatever. We'll get off that point. Let's get to a better point. What do you like most about your community?
Oh, I love how tight knit and family oriented it is. It's like, one thing about my community is I love that I've started to do building like squads or whatever that they can be a part of, like the Gold Nugget squad, the Dad squad, people that can align themselves in a group and say, hey, this is personal for me. I know a lot of dads out there and I love, one of my favorite things is to hear from the dads like, hey man, I've got 2 daughters, I got 3 sons, whatever, and we love watching your videos. That is the greatest thing I could ever feel. Like, it's so awesome. And so I know that there's a lot of dads out there who play. I try to include them so they can feel like they're a part of something. The Gold Nugget squad are the true people who truly support, stay to the end of the videos, watch all the time. That kind of stuff is so appreciated, and I felt like they deserve to feel more appreciated. So I love how like tight knit it is. Everybody's a part of, not just, hey, I like to watch this guy. It feels like it's a clan, so to speak, a team of some sort. That's my favorite thing. Is there's some people that just come there to comment nice things, just to be nice to people, and I love it.
Those are the kind of things that just keep you going, honestly.
Yep, for sure.
That's awesome. So the next question is, it's kind of a tricky one because, you know, you have a lot of successful videos, like you get a lot of views on average, like concurrently. But what was the first video that you noticed that, like, oh, you were posting a lot of videos, you got like 20 views, 30 views, but then this one video
Easy
got
question.
like,
Easiest answer of my life. I don't know what it is, but there is one specific video that changed everything for me. And I was playing Among Us when it first came out with some other creators. I was like, guys, I'll be on in about 30 minutes. I just got to make this video real quick. I came in there and I said, what should I title this video? I said, basically, I'm frustrated with Apex right now, and I want stuff to change. We've asked for this and they won't do it, and I'm wanting to give up. I was literally on the brink of quitting the game, quitting YouTube. I was sick of it. And I made a video called I Hate Apex Legends. And that video is, well, I've had 2 startups. So one was that video. I was getting probably, 3K, 1K for about 8 months. Wasn't doing too much. And then boom, it was 44K. And then after that, it started to go 10K, 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 8K, 9K, 10K. Every now and then I'll have 20Ks. And then I stayed at that for a while. And then about 2 months later, I had another big spurt. And that video was some EA news about EA kind of doing stuff that we weren't liking. It was a pretty basic video. It wasn't a big broad video like I hate Apex Legends was. That's when I got into that style of news, talking about, hey, EA and Respawn said this and it upset fans, or fans were angry at this, or fans really were happy when Respawn did this, stuff like that. So that's that was when I took it from 10K, 10K, 13K, 15K to 49K, 40K, 60K, 40K, 47K. And those were the two videos. I hate Apex Legends, and then just some basic EA news stuff.
I do remember seeing that video, that I hate Apex Legends. I think that's when I first subscribed to you. But
that was my turning point.
So what did you what did you think when you first saw those numbers? Like the big explosive numbers.
I had the extreme dopamine effect that I wish I could get people to not feel. It's the worst curse in YouTube. It feels so good when you see those high numbers. It's the greatest moment of your life. Like it's unreal. Like even to this day, I struggle with it, because I'll look there and I'll see a number 1 and I'm like, holy cow, my life is amazing. I'm going to eat Longhorns tonight and we're going to have you have this such great emotional high. Then the next day, your video plummets. It does awful, and you want to quit everything. And it's so bad. It's probably my worst feature about myself when it comes to doing YouTube. So yeah, when I saw those numbers, it was the first time I experienced it. I was on cloud 9. I thought, I was just absolutely amazing. And I wish I could train myself. I wish I could tell other people the importance of how important it is to stop letting the number, like, it's important to look at the number so that you can know how to grow, what to change, and click-through rates and watch time and retention. And it is important. I'm not saying not to look at it, but you got to learn how to let it not control your life, because you will get so depressed over the dumbest thing. I've had multiple videos that would be a 10 out of 10, which is the worst. If you don't know YouTube, 10 out of 10 is bad. Not good. It sounds good, but it's not good. It's the worst 10 out of your last 10. Essentially, I've had videos that would stay at my 10 out of 10 for an hour, and then all of a sudden, boom, it explodes, it becomes on number 1. And then so I went from being depressed to really happy. And then I realized, that's when I started to realize, okay, I really, yes, I'm glad that the video started to pop off, but this is not a good mental state to be in, to let these numbers decide my mood so badly. That was a motorcycle that just came by. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, I felt great when it happened. I'm not saying, I don't know, it's so tricky. I expected myself to feel great, but I wish I would have learned sooner to not let it affect me so much.
Honestly, you kind of just answered my my next question. It was any tips for upcoming YouTubers, but I feel like what you just said is very important. Like, not letting the views dictate. Like, it's kind of like a 100 or 10,000 hours kind of thing. Like, you're not going to be really good at something until you do a lot of it, and then even if you are really good, that doesn't always measure up to views and stuff like that.
Yep, for sure.
You've played Apex for a long time. I know you used to be a Predator. You probably play less now because you're a creator. You have to edit videos, do thumbnails, all this stuff like you were talking about before. But what's one tip that you would give to a new player who's just starting to play Apex?
Probably, and a lot of casual players would be upset because it ruins their games, but the best thing you can do is just go in and fight as much as possible. Take as much fights. Loot quick, get you a good gun, get you a good shield, and just run and fight. Go to the nearest gunshots you hear and just go ape city and try to force yourself in weird positions where you have to pull off a crazy play in order to survive. You're going to learn quicker that way. Rather, if you just go around, I mean, it depends on what you want to be. If you just want to, enjoy life, have a good time, you're just playing and chilling, and you're going to go play Warzone later, Fortnite later, and you don't really care, play how you want to play. But if you're coming to Apex and you're trying to get good quick and you're thinking about maining this game, you need to come in, get you good weapons, get you a good shield, and go force yourself in fights constantly. If you die, who cares? Go next. The more you play, the more experience you get, the faster you're going to grow. You're not growing that much when you go and camp and get 2 kills and you win the game with 2 kills and 500 damage. You might win, and that's cool, but you're still worse than what you would be if you had 0 wins, 10 losses, but you forced yourselves into like 10 in ridiculously insane fights, and you've started to fry people, you've started to track better, you've started to pull off more movement plays. Those kind of things are going to help you just kind of skip that big hurdle of having to go through the long process of learning.
That's a really good tip. Yeah, I say that one all the time. People don't believe me though. They're like, "Yeah, but in Warzone, I'm sitting in a
Yeah, no.
building and I'm killing
Yeah,
like, 3 people, whatever." Ugh, yucky.
exactly.
Gross game.
3 people versus 30 people.
So, first, well, there's only a couple more questions left and then I'll let you go. But first question is, what's your favorite legend to play in the game and why?
Pathfinder, because the movement is just ridiculously fun. There's nothing like the feeling of a grapple. I saw a video today from Taxi 2G. I've never in my life seen this. He literally grappled backwards. He grappled in front of him and then somehow turned backwards, and it shot him backwards. And he had a guy on his side, so he literally was running and sliding, and then like pointed at the ground, and then grapple jumped at the same time, and it launched him backwards, and he shot this guy with a fly. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The movement with Pathfinder is just, it's absurd. It is so much fun. So I would say Path. I think Path is one of those that requires a lot of skill, and it's got the biggest ceiling of reward.
Taxi's got that M&K tap strafe ability. Ugh, I wish. So you've been playing for a long time. Have you been playing since season 0?
Yep. Day 2. I was day 2 player.
Okay. You've been playing for the entire lifespan of the game then. So what is your favorite season to play? And is there any moment that you really remember very vividly about early Apex or later Apex, if that's what you want to talk about?
My favorite season to play was probably, as far as like ranked, season 2 for sure. Because but that's just because I was the best. I was at my best in season 2. See, the end of season 2 is when I got into YouTube, and I kind of stopped trying to go pro, and I just wanted to do content. So I was probably at my peak of skill in season 2, and that's when I enjoyed ranked the most, because I was like top like 50 pred or something like that. So that'd probably be my favorite season. And then my favorite moment would probably be, back then we didn't have a pro league like we have now, where like, there's official lobbies and scrims and stuff like that. You basically just Q snipe each other on Iowa GCE2 servers. And we actually joined a pro league, and we had 2 teams for our organization. And I remember very vividly the first game that we won with that in the pro league. And you could go back to Discord and see all the pro teams type in, be like, "Yo, GG's guys." And they called our names out, and to know that we had won. And it was our teammate had died, so we had 2v3 the entire lobby and won. It felt so cool to like recognize myself. Yo, I just won a game in pro league. Holy cow, this is ridiculous. That's probably my favorite moment.
That's awesome. That's a cool moment. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
Yep.
So there's only 2 more questions. First one is, why did you choose Apex over all the other games that were in like the BR genre, or like the genre at the time? Like, why did you focus in on and wanted to become better at that game?
Okay, so it's almost the same mindset of like a stock, like when you just believe in something. And so I was playing Fortnite a lot just with my buddy, as not really trying to get incredibly good. I was playing that and Rocket League. At the time, I was the highest rank in Rocket League for like 6 seasons in a row. I had my moments where I had peaked into almost the top. I was like 150, top 150. I was on the top 100 in Rocket League twice, but it was at the beginning of season, so it doesn't really count. It's kind of one of those things where they don't really count it until like a month or so in the season, where everybody's established in their ranks. So at the end of a season, I was like very close to peaking top 100. I was pretty solid at the game, but I was just kind of playing for fun, not really trying to go pro in anything, just trying to play at a high level. And I was basically waiting around. I told myself, if I want to make this happen, I said, the very next big thing that comes out, I'm going to jump. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I love it. I don't care if I hate it. I'm going to jump on it, and I'm going to do it. So Apex came out. I saw it. and I saw everybody was playing it. I saw all the streams. I saw it was blowing up. I texted my friend, I'm like, yo, I was like, we're going to do it. I'm going to play it. And he didn't really care too much for it, but I didn't really care. I was like, I'm going to make this happen because this is the next big thing. It's the big wave. I'm going to be on it in the early stages of it. I'm not going to wait and try to come do it later. So when it came out, I was just like, I'm going to force myself to do it. And then I ended up really liking the game. The movement is just so much fun. I've always been a movement type player. So I just really loved the game a lot at the time. And I got deep enough into it where I was like, well, I'm rooted here now. I'm just going to stay. So that's how I kind of got into it. I just saw it was the next big thing. And I was like, I'm jumping on it. So that's why I chose Apex.
That's one thing that's really hard to do as a content creator. Just abandon something that you've been good at for a long time and hop on to the next big thing. But I'm glad you did it because your content's great.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. It was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So last final question. We kind of talked about how, Respawn, Apex, all these issues, but what's something that you really want to see implemented? It could be audio fixes, solos being added, TDM, hopefully next season, please. Something like that. Like anything you want. Literally could be anything.
Private matches, 100%. I want to be able to play with my community on stream. Most of my streams are always community based. I play with viewers and stuff. I would love to just be able to say, hey guys, we're going to do some stupid challenge today, and whoever wins a boxing match or something, or hey, all 60 of you got to land fight night, and the last one to be alive wins. Or it's a Royal Rumble. If you jump out, you're dead. If you jump out of the ring, you're dead. You got to stay in. You got to box, and the last one alive wins. And give them Apex coins or something. There's so many ideas and possibilities you can do, and you need private matches abilities in order to do it. So I'm really hoping we'll get private matches. That's my big thing. That's my main thing. And so that's the one feature I'm clinging to, holding on to, is private matches.
It's crazy that hasn't been implemented, honestly.
And then you've got not only just, ALGS or whatever tournaments, then you got any company that wants to make their own tournament. They have the ability to come in and say, well, we'll throw X tournament. We don't need approval from Respawn. We could just throw it instead of having to go get server keys and stuff. So that would be nice.
Well, JMeyels, thank you so much for your time. It's been a great interview. You're very insightful. You're very I don't want to say eloquent. What's the word when
eloquent?
Thank you. Yeah, see, you're very eloquent. But
that makes sense. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and I know that I'm gonna rewatch this interview a couple times just so I can fully grasp everything you were talking about. But thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've never done an interview like this, talking about more of like my personal background or why I'm here, why I'm doing this, my motivations for YouTube. It's usually just hey, let's talk about Apex stuff. Nobody's ever asked me about why I'm here, how I got here. So it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it, dude. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Anything you want to say last for before you go, or?
For those of you that are trying YouTube yourself, don't get discouraged over the numbers. Just do what you love. Do what makes you happy. Go play whatever game you want to. Don't let anybody tell you that there's not an audience for that. If you want to go do it, do the research on it. If you believe in it and you think you can actually make it work, try it. If you fail, who cares? Go try something else. Your life's not over because you fail. You can go try it again, go try something new, and I'm telling you, you will find a way to make your dream job a reality. You just got to make it happen. Stay encouraged.
It's so eloquent.
You just learned a new word. You're going to say everything is eloquent. That is very eloquent.
You know me. All right. I'll catch you later.
All right. Peace out.
Hey guys, I know this was a longer video, but I really thought it was cool learning more about JMeyels, and that's pretty much what this series is about. Learning more about the creators that are providing you content, not just about the game, but about them as a person. I thought it was a really interesting idea, but if you made it this far, drop a like, maybe a comment, maybe subscribe. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Let me know who you want to see interviewed next, and I will sure to be getting on that. The next two people I have lined up are Floating Koala and Finesse. So if you want to see them, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. Peace.
Don't forget to subscribe to Lil Ollie Pump
and follow him on all of his socials.